This video is going to cover Unit 23, Section 1. We're talking about congruent figures. Congruent figures have exactly the same size and shape of each other. For example, if you were working in a factory and you were making plastic parts for something and they were going through a mold, you would want every single one of those parts that come out of the mold to be the same size and the same shape. Those would be congruent figures. All right? So we use a symbol to show that two figures are congruent. For example, let's say that we have two triangles that we know are congruent. So you could say that triangle ABC, when compared to maybe triangle XYZ, if they're congruent, then we put a little symbol kind of like that between them. This symbol means congruent. Now there's a term that we're going to be throwing around here in the next few sections called corresponding. It means a lot of different things, but for triangles we're talking about corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. Well, how do I know if two triangles are congruent? So let's draw a couple of them. So if I have a triangle like this, and let's say that another one, let's just draw them exactly like that. And let's call this one, let's call it ABC. And let's call this one XYZ. Okay? And there's a symbol right there that says congruent. So we put little symbols in angles like this to show congruency. Like that. So angle C is congruent with angle Z. Angle A is congruent with angle X. Angle B is congruent with angle Y. Okay? Now, this XY, line XY, is between, we'll call this angle 1 because it's got 1 dash and this is 2. So XY is between angle 1 and angle 2. AB is also between angle 1 and angle 2. So AB is congruent with XY. So the length of this side right here is the same as that one. So I put a symbol like that to show that they're corresponding. Okay? Now, side AC and side XZ are congruent as well. Not because of the way the triangles are laid out. We'll get into that in a little bit, because we can turn these triangles around. But because side AC is between angle 2 and angle 3, and XZ is between angle 2 and angle 3, these are corresponding as well. So I'll put 2 dashes there. And the same thing is true for B and C and Y and Z. So I'll use 3 for that. So these are congruent triangles. Now I can take this one right here and I can turn it around if I wanted to. And they would still be congruent. They don't have to be oriented in the same place. So the sides that lie opposite equal angles of congruent triangles are corresponding sides. So because there's another way, here's another way I'm going to talk about this, is because this angle and this angle are the same, and I'm given that these two triangles are congruent. Because this angle and this angle are the same, that makes this side and this side corresponding. And because this angle and this angle are the same, that makes this side and this side corresponding, and the same would be for angle Y and B. Okay? Now let's take a look at, let's look at the top of page 581, figure 23-1. So we have the three angles of each of those triangles. We have a 38 and a 38 on the other one. We have a 62 and a 62 on the other one, and then an 80 and an 80 on the other one. So that's pretty much the same thing that I've got going on here, just different angles probably. So it says AB. So let's go ahead and draw this one out. And they orient it the same. I'm looking at the top of page 581. So they have A, B, and C. And then D, E, and F. Of course, theirs are drawn a little bit better than mine. So this is angle, I'll write it outside to keep it neater. 38 degrees there, 62 degrees here, and 80 degrees here. So 80 degrees, 38 degrees, 62 degrees. Okay, so that means that AC is corresponding to DF. Okay, AB is corresponding to DE. And then EF is corresponding to CB. So I know that these two triangles are congruent because the angles that I gave are the same. I don't necessarily know what the angle measurements are, but I know that this angle and this angle are congruent. This side and this side are congruent because of the marks that I give. This one, I know that angle B and angle E are congruent because I give the measurements of them. And the same thing is true with angle F and angle C, and then angle A and angle D. So we know through the definition, they tell us that these two triangles are congruent. Therefore, we know that the corresponding sides are equal. Now you can have two triangles with the same angle measurements but different side lengths. So I can shrink this triangle down right here or expand this one, keep the angles the same, but the sides can be different. And we'll get into that when we talk about similar objects. Now for right now, this section is talking about corresponding, or congruent rather. Oops. Okay. Say they give us another example there with figure 23-2. Now they make a point near the bottom of page 581 that it's important to understand that it doesn't really matter in what way the figures are oriented. So let's take a look at what we got going on and figure 23-3. So I can draw this one. It's got a little bit. And this angle is 100 degrees. This one is 41 and B. This one is A and C. And this angle right here is 39 degrees. Then the other figure they show next to it, the other triangle, I'm not going to be able to do this as good as they do, of course. Let's see, this is E, F, D. This angle right here is 100. This angle is 41. And this angle right here is 39. Put some degree measurements on there. Okay, so we can see that this angle and this angle are corresponding angles. They're the same. And we can see that this angle and this angle are corresponding angles as well. So let's take a look at the sides. So that means that this side and this side are corresponding sides. And this side and this side are corresponding sides. And then this side and this side are corresponding sides. Once again, they're telling us that these two are congruent triangles. So it doesn't matter how we orient them, as long as we understand the equal angles, the corresponding angles. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the exercises on page 583. I want to look at number 8 and number 10. Number 8 and number 10. Okay. So let me see if I can get that drawn. Now I'm not going to even attempt to get this perfect. Okay, so we have G, K, H, and M. And then the point in the middle is D. Now, a couple of things are given to us and a couple of things we have to understand. So this angle right here is 24 degrees. This angle right here is 28 degrees. This angle here is 28 degrees. And this one is 24 degrees. They don't tell us what this angle is right here. But we can know that this angle here and this angle right here are corresponding because we know that they're the same. It might not look like it, but because they're opposite angles, so they will be the same. So that means that this side and this side are corresponding sides. Now, this is the angle 24, so this is opposite that, so I'll put 2 marks there. Here's the angle 24, this is opposite set, so I'll put 2 marks there. So these sides right here, KD is corresponding to DH, or HD, whichever order you want to put that. And then angle H and angle K are both 28, so this side right here and this side right there are corresponding as well. All right, so let's take a look at number 10. So we've got missed it just a little bit. All right, W in the middle, X over here, because, or Y right there, Z, and V. Okay, so there's 3 in here, 1, 2, 3, 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, 3, and going to be 2. So, okay, so because we've got this angle and this angle are the same, that means that this side and this side are the same. This angle and this angle are the same. So this side and this side are the same. And because Y and Z are the same, that side and that side are the same. Corresponding parts of a triangle. Now let's take a look at, I want to look at number 12 on page 584. I should have got that. So this is perfect. Boy, I'm telling you, I do this perfectly. Well, maybe not perfectly. Wow. Okay. G, H, M, K, and then they give us, well, this isn't exactly right. It says 5 feet there. That should have been straight across, but okay. So this one is 4.5. This one is 4.5. So, and then 5 right here. And now, instead of finding corresponding sides, we're finding corresponding angles. Okay? So, this side is 5 and that side is 5. Therefore, this angle over here by H, it's not angle H. Remember how we name angles. This one can't be named H, but it's over here by the H. So this angle and this angle are corresponding. Now I've got 4.5 here, so that is the opposite angle there, and 4.5 here, so that is the opposite angle there. Okay? Now they didn't give us the length on this side right here. However, we know they're the same because they're right up against each other. So because this side is equal to this side, that means that this angle and this angle here are also corresponding angles.